Last week, we got the bunker and the edge of the putting green refinished, and this week we got dirt spread out so we can get ready to start seeding. After finishing the work we did on the bunker last week, I got out a new bag of ryegrass I had and went ahead and filled the drop spreader so that we can get the bunker seeded and ready to start greening up. The original plan was to seed the entire yard with fescue grass, but we had a 3-month drought which made it impossible to ever do. And now that we're so late in the season and the cooler weather is approaching, I'm going to go ahead and just do ryegrass, as that'll grow all year and will look absolutely perfect come next springtime. And the new plan is that once the ryegrass dies out in late May, I'm going to reseed the entire yard with Bermuda grass, as I believe that'll be a much better fit as we get very hot summers. But for now, I'm going to let the entire yard lay dormant for the wintertime. I'm going to focus my time and energy on getting the fairway and the bunker lush and green and ready for Masters Week. Now that we're completely done with the bunker, we're going to let it just get watered down and start growing, and we're going to turn our focus to the fairway around the green, and I'm going to start off by getting a full load of topsoil combined with a full load of sand. And one of the big benefits of getting the new 3/4 ton Dodge Ram truck is that I can get 2 loads in the truck, which I couldn't previously do. And when the loads were put in, I barely felt it. It's got so much power. But now with a full truck bed load of sand and dirt, we got to get in there and we got to shovel it all out. Fortunately though, I had my little helper Caroline, who was ready to get dirty and ready to get to work. And while the shovel wasn't quite working out too well for her, she got innovative and found a much better and more efficient way to get the sand and dirt out of the truck. All in all, it took us about 20 minutes of work to unload the truck bed, and this definitely proved to be the toughest part of the job this weekend. I'd thought about getting one big load of a dump truck to come deliver it all, but I wasn't sure how much I needed, and I originally was just thinking one load was going to be all I needed, but I sure was wrong on that. And if I could have gone back and done it all again, I definitely would have paid the extra money to get the dump truck to deliver it, because it would have been a whole lot easier if I hadn't had to do this 3 different times over the weekend. And once we finished all up and got all the dirt and sand out, we had a big mess on our hands, so I had to get the hose out and start cleaning. But once again, little did I know I was going to have to go get 2 more loads, so there was no reason I needed to do this now. Once finished cleaning, it was time to trade out the truck and hop in the gator to go get all my equipment to get to work. I made a quick stop at our shooting shed, which is turning into more of a storage unit, and I grabbed my small garden tiller. We took that over as we were going to use it to mix up the sand and soil. And this tool turned out to work absolutely perfect, and once we got it all mixed together, it was time to start spreading it all around the green. I started off by filling any of the low areas around the putting green because, as I've said before, I want the edge to be perfectly smooth because I want to be able to hit bump and runs that roll right up on the green without any kind of a bounce. Once I got the edge of the putting green done, it was time to do all around the fairway, but I wanted to start off by blowing all the leaves out and getting it perfectly clean before I started spreading the dirt. And it was at this moment when I was working and I saw all the equipment and all the tools that I had to do this job that it made me think back to how this project got started as nothing more than just digging a hole in the ground to put a cup and a flag so that my kids could have a golf hole to learn to play on. We've come an awful long ways from the days of having a raggedy old flag and a cup in the ground, but we've still got a long ways to go, and I look forward to all the work to get us there. And we're going to start that work right here and right now as we use the tractor and box blade to smooth all of this soil around the green. Having the box blade is a huge advantage and saves me a ton of time, because if I didn't have this, I'd have to use a shovel and a landscape rake to get all this work done. And once we got this load done, we were able to see that it was definitely not enough, but we were going to come back the next day to get back to work. But at this point, as we look at the bunker, it's been 6 days since we put the seed out and the ryegrass is already popping. So I was going to get the hose out and give it a good watering, because it is growing fast and this is going to be very green within the next week or two. And the next day I went back to get another load of the sand and topsoil mix, but this time I had the boys home and I made them do all the heavy duty work to unload the truck. And once again I used the garden tiller to get it all mixed up, and when I look at this soil I can't help but think that there's no way I can't grow really good grass in here. Next up, it was time to bring back out the tractor and box blade and smooth it out again. And it takes all of about 5 minutes and 0 energy to get this part of the job done. At this point, it was starting to look good and close to finished, but I couldn't help but notice that the back part of the green did not have enough sand and dirt, so I had to go back and get one last load and go through the process one more time. Once finished, it looked really good. It's a lot smoother and ready for seed. But the next day we had a heavy rain and that made it look even better. And what I'm going to do now is let it dry out, come back out, rake it up, get some seed in the ground, and we should have a beautiful fairway growing around the green in no time. The only dilemma I have now is that I'm going to have to go buy a reel mower this off season, as we're going to have to cut this to fairway length to make it perfect. But thanks as always for watching. Be sure to subscribe and follow along, and we will see you soon.